some of our great services that we provide to our citizens, like library and parks and recreation. So, I think that our staff has done a great job in preparing the budget, and if they say 39 cents, it's gonna keep us in a healthy state for the next 2 years. I'm gonna trust them on that, and I'm gonna continue to provide great services for our great citizens. I mean, we can brag about, lowering taxes, and trust me, I'm not a property owner like some of the rest of them up here, but, I don't want taxes to be high, because I know we have a lot of property owners in our city. But at the end of the day, what makes us unique as a municipality is we provide great services. And I don't wanna stop providing great services. My father passed away 5 years ago, and, one thing I can say that, the response time to our fire EMS that came out to our residents and it came to his aid was very quick, and they did the best they could. And if we start cutting services, then we're gonna do a disservice to our citizens that may need that fire and ambulance to come out to them as quick as possible.
Mayor, reference to the sheet you have, thank you, Councilmember Stiles. So if you see the word cut next to the sheet I just given you, that's 2.5 cents. So the sheet I just gave you, look down at the sheet, I've already cut 2.5 cents from the total request of the department before, which really speaks to what Councilmember Stiles just said. In addition, you've heard your police and fire subcommittee, kind of stand up on the table and say, I need X, Y, and Z. But in addition to, and I know, Councilmember, the Mayor Pro Tem is really just asking questions.
Yeah, I'm not proposing about anything.
And I'm defending what you asked, okay?
Thank you.
He's just asking the what-if questions as he takes the total site picture. And Councilmember Stiles reinforced that our police and fire chiefs, and they're not the only ones requesting positions, I've already cut what they've asked of us and you and your subcommittees. And, just in defense of Chief Dixon, because he doesn't have a microphone, I do, and that he has assured you that his goal is if he gets human beings, he's putting them on patrol. Okay? And he's earnest and often to that. In addition to that, you've heard Chief Wade say his goal is paramedic level service, because he's got to be able to do that and cross our city. And they get to yell at me when we leave here, because I'll tell you, Chief Wade was the one I did not get a chance to contact today. In his defense, this is the first time he's seen it from his request, the manager's recommended budget. So you wanna know someone in the room who didn't know what's happening today? Be that young man in the back right there. I did not get a chance to warn him early on that, hey, you're about to get free. He and I've had some dialogue, so it's not new to him, but the manager's recommended budget is a, welcome, surprise, here's what we're asking. Not in a negative, but we have to make command decisions and have to present it to you.
And I think all of us in the committees have, especially the two committees I'm involved with, which is public safety and planning. I know George and I know Bill sits in on most of those, if not all of them. We have heard ad nauseum as to how many people they need, and rightfully so. And I'll even say that Mr. Taylor at our last planning committee meeting was telling Sandy that, my God, you need another daggone code enforcement officer.
Yes.
And so this is not unreasonable, not at all.
And, I feel like Mayor Jones, he, summed it up profoundly earlier when he said that we went to, our retreat last November, going back to this purpose and vision, 50 feet. We gave our city manager and our staff our vision of what we want, whether it be capital, improvement projects like WS King. And now staff has come back with this proposed tax rate that can honor our vision. Now, we went to them and we gave them a vision of what we would like to see in Morehead City. And if we, just say we decide that we want to go less than 39 cents, then we're taking away part of our vision that we have for our citizens. And so I want to, again, commend staff because, we came up with some great ideas, some great projects moving forward. And the 39-cent property tax rate is gonna get there for us, and I'm all for it.
Any specific questions from the vote? We need to take time to digest it for the next work session.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayor, I will honestly say, I got my book this morning, and I'm certainly not going to shake myself up here right now until I've had an opportunity to digest this thing and, at least give our citizens an opportunity to digest it and digest it and work through it. And I will certainly be talking to Chris over the next few days, a few weeks, and sharing some things. And if I have any questions, I'll certainly ask him at that time, and then I'll bring them back at our next, budget meeting. But I'm certainly not gonna say what I'm gonna do right now. We got 3 more budget sessions to go.
Two.
See, chief. Yeah, and then those, that's right.
All right, everybody ready to adjourn then?
Yeah.
The council, Chris?
Okay. If there are no further questions, appreciate your time today. As I'll repeat in subcommittees, you don't need a lecture from me, to cut the tax rate, to have any cuts to operating, not capital, we would need to know early office, so we can prepare those numbers for you. And when you have that dialogue, and you're having it individually one-on-one, and you have the staff, I'm challenged and demanded to share with all of you. Just keep that in mind as your discussion, but thank you.
Chris, we're gonna be later at top of the discussion, finance and administration.
Up to you, questions to the staff, so, let me,
What was the thought?
the topic was, videoing the council meeting, we discussed it admin finance today, if there's something in this that you want to discuss, we're open to answer those questions now if you have, one of the concerns.
Now, what's the projected cost? You know, we bounce around lots of different numbers. What looks like?
No more than 5,000. No more than 5,000.
That's not a big number.
Correct.
Can I ask what that would include?
Sure, so we had a dialogue today in the Administration and Finance Subcommittee that spoke to not using the word live stream. It spoke to filming meetings, recording audio, and then placing that in a bank upon a cloud resource and placing that almost near immediately, within 24 hours, likely, to the public. The reason why we don't use a projection staff not wanting to use a live streaming service, because that is not the public record, it becomes the platform's use. In addition to that, if someone were to get up here to use unsullied words that were unsavory, it could place at risk our social media footprint and other platforms. When you record it with pin built in camera, you have in the back room for safety and security, and you combine audio to that, Matthew, who came from the county, has a solution set that will allow you to do so. I shared with Councilmember Stiles and Councilmember Pro Tem that staff stands at the precipice of having this item came forward with you twice, with no action, which means we sullen ourselves as staff to bring you forward again. I advise Mr. Stiles, if he wanted to, he could bring this up in a budget workshop now, or number 2, or number 3, if we had it, for discussion and potential implementation. With filming the meeting, it is a philosophical discussion for council to have, not staff to inject into. Councilmember Stiles respectfully asked us what is the actual cost, so he can get more detail as he chose to speak to you individually about where you lie with that. His question directed to city staff, and Matthew's still here, if he wants details, you can ask him all of these details if you'd like. We are having functioning capability to do so with some minor improvements. The totality of that cost would be about $5,000. The spirit of that recording would not have chapters, it would have closed caption, as a general 508, 504 requirement, and it would go out, as you direct. And it would not be upon a platform that would risk both social media footprint and our engagement with the public. Did I get that right? Okay, I get it, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do ask Dan and continues to be. Cost being something that needed to be identified, and 5,000 to me, while 5,000 is certainly significant, it is not a showstopper. That's a very reasonable cost. If, as you know, I walk around and knock on lots of doors, and people ask, why don't you do that? You know, I've got kids, I've got to get soccer, I've got to get home and cook supper, you know, I've got all the stuff that we have to do. But I'd like to keep up with what's happening in the city. This gives them that opportunity. Some people mention transparency. When someone asks you the question, why not do it? I don't have an answer for it. There's no reason not to put it on TV. You know, you collate it, you know, if anything needs to be sanitary because of profanity or, you know, whatever, that can be taken care of. I would be in favor of
the budget cycle? Short answer is yes, yes. And again, I'll say that staff was sullen and said, hey, we've approached this twice and there's been no action. That's the same as taking action. When city council says not discussing it, staff doesn't bring it back up again because we're not, the people didn't elect us, they elected you.
And I'm not looking for a vote, but I think I could ask for general consensus if we want the manager to include this in this upcoming budget.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So
Think-
that, unanimous?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what I was looking for. So we will include that in the manager's recommended, budget with a, that's the first, this is great dialogue, by the way. That would be a significant change to what I've recommended. We'll bring that back to you in budget workshop number 2, with the addition of that, almost say not to exceed in the framework of that $5,000 note for not live streaming, as I'm sharing with everybody. Or Carter keeps telling us to listen, we don't call it live, I love it, it's okay. It's not live streaming, I don't like that word. It is video recording and then posting it back to the website in near, 24-hour records. Fair?
Would, would the caveat be of, when you say not categorizing it, I guess what I'm looking at, that, and this was brought up last year, if you have a 2-hour city council meeting, okay, and it's taped, and, you know, I don't want to sit there and listen to the whole thing, or one thing I want to hear,
You got your-
will we have the ability, or the citizens have the ability to say, I'm gonna go directly to citizens' comments, and forget going to or listen to the rest of it? Can a person, would it be able, the person listen to what they needed to hear, and not to hear everything?
So I would picture it like a YouTube video.
I'm sorry?
I would picture it like a YouTube video. So if you
Uh-huh.
go on YouTube, you have a scroll bar.
Right.
You can go directly to whatever section you want to. If you know something's happening at, X number of minutes, you can jump right to that minute mark and go to
Okay.
it. It was a request to not do chaptering or doing divisions of the video, but the video will be uploaded, and then the public would have full access to, go through that video as they see fit, whether that's pausing, playing. It would just be a video,
Could it be chapterized?
possibly.
Yeah.
Question for Matthew. Matthew does support the council, he's a good subject matter.
And I will clarify on the cost, of the solution. That's about a $3,000 one-time cost, and then a $2,000 recurring annually cost.
Thanks, sir.
So that's not a 5-year or 5,000 every year kind of cost.
Would you have to, I know you got the one camera at the back. I don't know if there's any cameras up here. I assume there would be some other cameras that would.
This solution is just using the hardware that's existing in the room. We're not adding anything. If it's the council's directive to go that route, we could look that route. But what I've recommended is just using what's in the room, connecting it to recording software or equipment, and then having that available to the public.
And someone would have the ability to manipulate that camera at the back to pan over and see who's ever speaking, or is it a fixed shot?
It can be adjusted. Right now, it is set so that it can see the entire.
Like a wide angle?
Yeah, it's
That's what
basically
you
everything.
want, I would think. Yeah.
So you can see everything, you'll be able to see the presentation behind you, and then the portal we're looking at also has the ability to upload like the agenda packet and the PowerPoint presentation along with it, so they can view it side by side.
Great question.
I think the two biggest, points of opposition last year was, one, the cost. I think last year it was estimated around $20K. Matthew researched it, now that's significantly reduced to $5K. So that relieves a burden right there. And another point of opposition was there was a lot of burden on Anna. At the time, we didn't have an IT director, so, there would have been a lot of, burden on her, and aside from what she always does with public communications. So, now with the hiring of Matthew, being our, IT director, we have that staff capability and manpower to be able
Yes, so there's multiple ways it can be set up. How we did it at the county was we do scheduling, so if you start your meeting at, 5:30, the recording starts recording at 5:30.
Okay.
And then there can be a button for Anna or whoever to press to end the recording at the end of the meeting, or it can be done on a schedule.
Okay. So we're not talking about a lot of manpower.
I tried to go simple.
Okay. Thank you.
I know we're close to adjournment, and we kind of, wanted to get that dialogue in. Any other questions before I go back to the mayor for the third item? Okay.
All right, council, ready to adjourn? All right, work session's adjourned until next Tuesday.
Thank you, staff. Great job.
Yes, yes.